I felt really lonely, and I just didn't know how I was going to, like, I don't know how I was gonna get through it. Those days when I couldn't, I just couldn't no more. I would just pray.
Adoption Rhode Island has been working with foster youth and families and caretakers for 40 years. And what Adoption Rhode Island has realized over time is the need for us to engage in other ways beyond being what we were traditionally. So we started as an adoption exchange. We do have some young people who age out of the foster care system without being matched with a family. So for those young people, they age out of the child welfare system into homelessness. So the model that our partners had in mind was a supportive services program in a housing development here at Copley Chambers. Copley Chambers houses former foster youth and provides supportive services here on site. Adoption Rhode Island is one of those service providers.
When I was homeless, I was living at a friend's house, and I got kicked out from there eventually, and I went to school, and then I told one of my teachers that I didn't have nowhere to stay. And the teachers called one of the principals, and the principal calmed me down, and they were, concerned because I was a student at the school, didn't have nowhere to stay. And so when the principal pulled some connections, some lady from the House of Hope came, shout out to Gabby, and then from there she explained to me how it was gonna start looking, and she helped me apply for housing, and that's how I applied at Copley.
Adoption Rhode Island takes very seriously our place in the network of service providers and organizations here in Providence and in Rhode Island that support foster youth and their families. And those relationships that we have with other organizations has allowed us to tap into young people like Miguel who may need services here at Copley Chambers.
I talk to people from ARI, when there's like some things I don't understand, or if I need help with some things, I normally go to them or PCHG. They're there to explain things to me and lift me up when I don't want to be lifted up. It's always good to ask for help, I found it embarrassing at first, but it's always good to ask for help because sometimes you just can't do things alone. When I was there, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know how to pay a bill. I didn't know nothing. And then there I came. I have not felt this good about myself since for a long while.
One of the most interesting parts of our work is our family search and engagement work. So that means we have a young person who has been in the child welfare system for too long, and we have not yet identified, or the system has not yet identified a family for that young person.
My name is Louis Travato, and I am a retired Providence police officer of 26 years. I presently work as an extreme family finding investigator for Adoption Rhode Island.
I am Shannon Doherty, and I work at Adoption Rhode Island. I've been here for 12 years, and I am an extreme family finding coordinator. So extreme family finding is a very prescriptive model. And when we reach somebody, that's where the engagement part comes in, where we're having those conversations explaining what we're looking for. And some of what we're looking for is having important people in a child's life. There's lots of different ways that this program has been successful, and that is just connections. And these are people who are going to help increase the well-being in a child's life because they're having people who care about them, who have, in some cases, not even known that they were in care when we're reaching out to them.
Yeah, we had a case where the relatives didn't even know that the children, brother and sister, were in care. But once they found out, they're like, this is our family, we want them. And I said, whoa, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. But they went through every step to get these children. And it's like one of our, as far as I'm concerned, it's our biggest success story. So sometimes it's worth the little extra effort in what we do just for these children, We have had such an impact on this model of extreme family finding because we are very persistent, we're very passionate about what we do, and we just want to see them with somebody, anybody, just to have another life, another outlet, another place to go.
I'd like to say how skilled and effective the team is here at Copley. Adoption Rhode Island brings a great deal of competence and compassion to the work, and very proud to be part of that team.
Yeah, I'm doing all the things people said I couldn't do, basically. You know, my mom didn't believe I was gonna get housing, or people out there didn't believe I was gonna get housing, but here I am. I wanna shout out Marcy, Matt, Jerica, Erica, everybody here, you know. It's just, yeah, it's a good feeling.